I would like you to recall 3 moments in your life. Una, I would like you to recall the best day na na-experience mo na sa buhay mo so far. If there is one day na talagang masasabi mo yun yung best day mo, what would that be? And then number 2, I would like you to recall one moment in your life or one event in your life na masasabi mo gusto mong balik-balikan. Kung baga kung meron kang time machine at gusto mong o meron kang kakayanan na balik-balikan yung araw na yon, what would that be? And last one, number 3, I would like you to recall a moment in your life na masasabi mong yung situation na yon taught you a very important lesson na hanggang ngayon yung lesson na yon na-appreciate mo pa rin. So the reason why kung bakit natin ginawa yung tatlong recollections na yan kasi i-introduce ko kayo sa napakahalagang past positive time perspective. Basically, past positive time perspective, inintroduce ito sa libro nila Philip Zimbardo and John Boyd. According to this book and according to these authors, time perspective is your mind's tendency to focus on a certain time frame. Ibig sabihin lang sa Tagalog, yung ating mind, meron siyang favorite na time frame na fino-focus. Some of us, for example, mas focus tayo sa past, yung iba present, yung iba future. But in relation to past positive time perspective, syempre, yung mind natin o ito yung mga tao na merong focus sa past. So, anong ibig sabihin ng past positive time perspective? Meron silang mga mental habits na ganito. People with high past positive time perspective, they have pleasure to think about their past. They get nostalgic about their childhood, so on and so forth. In other words, kung i-combine mo yung mga bullets na yan, ang sinasabi lang dito is these are the people na meron silang habit of remembering the good old days, or they have the habit of seeing and searching for the good things in the past. Ibig sabihin, meron silang kaugalian na tuwing tumitingin sila sa kanilang nakaraan, hinahanap nila yung mga bagay na magaganda. Like what? Ano ba yung mga bagay na kapag tumingin sila in their past, nakikita nilang mga magaganda? According to the book, ito yung mga bagay na yan. Their past success, yung mga accomplishments nila, their good memories in the past, and their life lessons from past negative events. Gusto ko lang i-emphasize yung last bullet. Ibig sabihin lang nito, yung mga taong mataas ang past positive time perspective, kahit merong mga pangit na nangyari sa kanila in their past, they still choose to see the lesson na natutunan nila from those past negative events. Hindi sila nadidepress doon sa negative events na pinagdaanan nila because they focus more on the lesson na magandang natutunan nila because of that negative events. In a way, yung mga taong merong ganyang habit, meron silang past positive time perspective, meron silang rose-colored glasses. Every time they choose to look at their past, they only see the good things in the past. Now, the question is, maganda ba na gawing mental habit yung ganon? Yung kapag titingin ka sa past mo, hahanapin mo yung mga magagandang bagay. The answer to that question is yes. In fact, it is a very important truth of the mind. Maganda ang past positive time perspective sa ating mental life. At paano natin nasabi? Paano natin mas nasabi na kapag meron kang ganong time perspective, maganda yan sa ating pag-iisip because studies after studies have shown na yung mga taong merong past positive time perspective, mataas ang kanilang level of happiness, yung kanilang energy, yung kanilang creativity, mataas din, mababa yung kanilang stress, mataas ang kanilang self-esteem, at nagiging makumpiyansa sila sa kanilang mga sarili. Again, these things, you get this kapag mataas o meron kang habit of past positive time perspective. Now, do you know na itong past positive time perspective na ito, it is also being taught in the Bible. This is very biblical. Kung i-analyze mo yung tinuturo ng Bible about kung paano dapat natin tignan yung ating past, it is very consistent with the mental habit of past positive time perspective. Let me give you 2 examples. In the Old Testament, tuwing yung mga Israelites na feel down, ano yung ginagawa nila para ma-uplift yung kanilang moods, para ma-uplift yung kanilang mga spirits? They remember what happened to them in the past. Sabi nga, di ba? Remember that you were slaves in Egypt and that the Lord your God brought you out of there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. So every time that Israelites feel down, ito yung inaalala nila. Kapag naalala nila itong magandang nangyari sa kanila in the past, na-uplift yung kanilang spirit, they become confident again. Another example na nagpa-practice ng past positive time perspective is none other than King David. 'Di ba? Bago siya naging hari, nung nilabanan niya si Goliath, ito yung nangyari. He went to Saul actually, 'di ba? Pinepresenta niya yung sarili niya kay Saul para labanan si Goliath. Because during those times, walang gustong lumaban kay Goliath because everyone was afraid of him except for David. David wanted to fight Goliath so much that he presented himself to King Saul. Sinabi nga dito, David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine because your servant will go and fight him." So, itong mga words in yellow na ito, you can say that these words are words of confidence. Talagang kumpiyansa si David na kaya niyang talunin si Goliath. But look at what Saul answered David. Ang sabi ni Saul, "You are not able to go out against the Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man and he has been a warrior from his youth." Kung ikaw si David dito at sinabihan ka ng hari mo na wala siyang tiwala sa iyo, definitely you will feel down, you will begin to doubt yourself. Pero saan kaya nanggagaling yung kumpiyansa ni David in presenting himself to fight Goliath? Guess what? Meron kasi siyang past positive time perspective. Naaalala niya yung mga magagandang bagay na nangyari sa kanya in the past, and that gives him confidence in fighting Goliath. In fact, hindi siya na-down. When Saul began doubting him, hindi siya natigil doon. In fact, sinagot niya si King Saul nung pinagdudahan siya. Anong sinagot ni David? Ito ang sagot niya. "When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear." I would like to focus on those words na binasa ko. Anong ginawa ni David dito? Inalala niya yung magandang nangyari sa kanya in the past. Inalala niya yung kanyang past accomplishment. At yung pag-alala niya ng past accomplishment, yun yung nagbibigay sa kanya ng lakas ng loob to face a challenge that he is facing in the present. In fact, hindi pa tapos yung pag-aalala ni David dito sa past niya. No? Let me further read. Ang sabi niya, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." Again, si David meron siyang ugali na hanapin yung mga magagandang nangyari sa kanya sa kanyang nakaraan. And that mental habit that David is doing, yan yung nagbibigay sa kanya ng lakas ng loob to face his challenges in life. In fact, later on in the book of Psalms, sinabi rin niya yan Dinescribe niya yung kanyang mental habit of remembering the good things in the past. He mentioned in Psalms 143 verse 5, "I remember the days of long ago. I meditate on all your works and consider what your hands have done." Meron talagang ganyang mental habit si David, seeing the past at hinahanap niya yung mga magaganda at yung mga magagandang nakikita niya in the past contributes to his mental wellness. Kaya naman, ang good news dito is, if for example, wala kang ganong mental habit, pwede mong i-develop yung mental habit of looking at your past in a positive way. Let me give you 2 ways on how you can do this. Number 1, ang pwede mong gawin para ma-enhance mo o ma-develop mo yung past positive time perspective mo is to reminisce in the past. When you say reminisce, ibig sabihin yan, you are focusing on the good things that happened to you in the past. So, babalik-balikan mo yung mga nakaraan mo, especially those positive events na naranasan mo, and then you reminisce on those memories. Alalahanin mo lang siya ng alalahanin. And one way for you to do this is gumamit ka ng journal or ng photo album. In fact, one good practice that you can do is simply by using your cellphone. Diba yung cellphone mo, marami diyang mga pictures in the past. Ang gagawin mo lang, mag-browse ka lang doon ng mga pictures in the past, select the photos na maganda yung memory mo, and then you try to reminisce on that photo. Anong nangyari doon sa photo na yon? Anong mga naramdaman mo? Bakit mo kinukonsider na good memory yung photo na yon? The more you do that, the more you are enhancing your past positive time perspective. Number 2, pwede ka rin gumawa ng pag-reconstruct ng negative events. Kasi yung number one, more on positive events. Now, how about those events in the past na negative ang nangyari? Ang gagawin mo lang dyan, pwede mo pa rin siyang alalahanin, but I would like you to search for number one, a lesson that you have learned from that negative event, and number two, how did that negative event made you a better person today? Diba? So yung mga pangit na nangyari sa'yo in the past, hahanapan mo ng maganda. Anong lesson ang natutunan mo? And how did that event made you a better person today? Ano yung naging contribution ng pangit na event na yon sa kung sino ka ngayon? So this is a very healthy way of dealing with negative events in life. Imbis na mag-focus ka doon sa mga hurts, doon sa mga pains na nanggaling sa mga negative events na yon, what you do is you focus on the good. You look for the lesson. You look for the contribution of that negative events to who you are right now. Magandang mental habit na gawin yan in terms of dealing with negative events in your life. In closing, gusto ko lang din na i-share sa inyo another Bible character na meron ding past positive time perspective. Ito si Joseph the Dreamer. If you remember, in summary, yung story niya, no, meron siyang masakit na past. Meron siyang painful history. And what was his painful history? Binenta siya ng kanyang sariling mga kapatid. To make the long story short, ang daming pinagdaanan ni Joseph in the Bible to the point na talagang naging slave siya, nakulong siya. But what happened? Umunlad si Joseph towards the end of the story. Naging mataas na opisyales siya sa Egypt. And now, meron na siyang power to avenge himself doon sa mga ginawa sa kanya ng kanyang mga kapatid. Now, yung mga brothers niya, akala nila patay niya si Joseph, but in a series of events, nagtagpo ulit yung landas nila. And when Joseph revealed himself to his brothers na nagbenta sa kanya dati, you will understand yung kanyang mga kapatid talagang takot na takot sa kanya. But what did Joseph answer, or what did Joseph say to those brothers na talaga namang naging malaki ang role sa kanyang negative past? He was very positive about them. Ang sabi niya, you intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. I would like you to focus on those three words, all for good. Yung salitang all dyan, sa all for good, that included his past. Ang sinasabi ni Joseph dito is, lahat ng pangit na nangyari sa akin in the past, meron kasing magandang plano si God sa akin. That is why right now, I am not angry at you. Hindi nagalit si Joseph sa mga kapatid niya because ang kanyang interpretation sa past niya is very positive. All those things that happened to him, kahit gaano kasakit, he always remembers that God has a plan why those things happened in the first place. Yan ang tinatawag nating past positive time perspective. It is very good for your mental health.